What's going on, guys? Your boy Amazing. We're back with another video, and in today's video, guys, I'm gonna be going over stage 1, 2, and 3 of the bird and showing you guys how you guys can actually beat it with Trader Meliodas. So I'm probably gonna do like a series like this in the future where whenever like a new character comes out that's good, we'll probably just slap them in and then show you guys a complete bird guide with that new unit. If they're good in the bird, I'll do like a run getting them through floors 1, 2, and 3. And I already recorded a pre-recorded run of the bird, but I wanted to show you guys my gear and what I'm actually running on the artifact support, because a lot of people are like, oh amazing, how do you beat this without healing card set? And I actually do not have the healing card set, and I'll show you guys what I mean. But this is the team that I'm going to be running here for the bird. Just to let you guys know, I 6-6 assault Trader Meliodas last night, and in the video he's 4 out of 6. So this is, this is just afterwards when I'm recording this, right? But he is 6 out of 6, so you'll see like the difference in CC on the video compared to now is about like 2k, not give or take 1,000, right? But that's just because my Meliodas is 6 out of 6 now, so you'll notice that as a difference. But other than that, the exact same gear is being used and the exact same artifacts is being used. So Meliodas, I was running attack crit damage on him, and the reason you run attack crit damage because you want big damage on him for phase 4 stage 1. Because if you guys don't know, that is the power strike stage where you need a lot of damage, and if you're running him HP defense, you're just not going to be able to hit the damage. Attack crit will get it done when you're running the amplify, so he'll hit hard enough. So yeah, his ultimate doesnn't really matter. Even at 1 out of 6, I was able to do damage when I did use a Meliodas on the bird. So don't worry about the ultimate on my Meliodas. Just think of his ultimate as just like a card you can like use to just get out of the way and remove buffs. That's the way I think of the ultimate, right? So next character we have is Brunhilde here. Brunhilde is a staple for the bird. If you do not have her, you can run like Sariel as an option as well, like just to have a power strike character, because you definitely need one if you're running the Meliodas team, because Meliodas can hit hard himself, but you do need another character to support him. And if you have another power strike character, that's a really good way to kind of support Meliodas and dish out enough damage on stage 1 phase 4. So Brunhilde I'm running here. If you guys don't know, Brunhilde, you want to run crit chance rolls on the attack pieces, so you're not going to run like full attack, depending on like your attack rolls. Like I got a 2.9, so I just kept it, but if you get like a 3% attack, you can keep it and then the rest can go crit chance. But that's basically my setup right there. Nothing too crazy, just 16% crit chance there, 16.9 there. And then if we go to the stats here, you can see that my crit chance is above 100%. So I'm at about 116% crit chance. So I'm not going to guarantee crit every hit, but I'm going to do a decent amount of damage basically every hit, which is pretty nice. And then yeah, just the defense rolls, nothing too crazy. The rest is just standard, defense on the middle pieces, HP on the bottom pieces. That's basically what you're to expect of a unit, right? And then we just have King Link with attack defense. Sariel Link with attack defense, by the way, on Trader Meliodas. And then Gunther here, he's just running HP defense. He does have Holy Relic, and he's 5 out of 6. So if you guys don't know what his Holy Relic does, it increases allies' basic stats every time he uses a buff or debuff skill. And Gunther's main buff skill is going to be the rank up. So that's how he's going to increase his basic stats basically every turn, and for the rest of the team as well. So if you guys are like a free-to-play player and you're doing bird and you're wondering if this is worth it for the bird, I think Holy Relic Gunther is worth it for the bird, just because you're always running green Gunther on the bird, just because of his passive and how strong it is, getting the attack related every turn, right? So if you are planning on doing the bird a lot, then Holy Relic Gunther is definitely worth it, because he's the only character on this team that has a Holy Relic, and you don't need it by any means, but it definitely does help. So if you are looking to clear bird a lot, Holy Relic Gunther is a very good recommendation I would give. So yeah, nothing too crazy. Obviously all the stats, HP defense, like all the standard like HP defense rules, it's not anything too crazy. You just do HP on the top, defense middle, HP bottom, right? So that's basically that. 61 KCC, pretty good. And then Matrona here, my Matrona is actually free to play, 2 out of 6, right? But if you go to the equipment here, it's just regular standard UR gear, about like 14% rolls on each, right, give or take. So 14% rolls. And then if we go to the outfits, you guys will see that this is actually just a fully free to play Matrona. No outfits have been bought. This is all just from the blue one and the red one combined, right? Because I have the blue one and then also this new one. If you get the hero affinity, you can actually get 2 more outfits if you have the blue one and the red one, and that'll give you about this much outfits right here. So you're able to have 3 headpieces, you're able to have 3 weapons, and then you'll also have 4 outfits. So I also maxed out the outfits mainly just for her tanking with the taunt. But yeah, you're mainly running Matrona just because she's a good healer, and she also will, you know, provide the taunt for your team as well. Alright, so I forgot to actually add my artifact card support when I was explaining the beginning part of the video, and I said I would, so I came to re-record this. But artifact support here, this is like the set that I was running. HP recovery level 3, recovers 2% of max HP at the start of the ally's turn when taking damage, excludes PvP and deathmatch, meaning you can run it in the bird. So 2% of max HP is not the craziest because this is the max level of the artifact card set. This is the free-to-play version in comparison to the actual healing card set that you want, because you guys don't know, I'll show you the one you actually want, right? If you go to heroes, then go to artifact cards, the one you actually want is gonna be I think it's this one right here. So the Guardians of Istal, if you get this one, this is the one you actually want for the bird, because if an ally is debuffed from a skill during the enemy's turn, it restores 1% of their max HP, and it can go up to, I think it's like 5% max HP, which is really good in comparison to, like, you know, this one right here, which is just 2% at max level. But yeah, this is definitely the free-to-play option you can run, and it's not bad because you can actually run this, and then when you're doing the bird, you can actually also put on I was gonna say, like, you could also put on like other card sets that or other cards that increase your CC a ton. Like this, the one Escanor card is super high in CC. It's UR. It was free to play as well in the event right now. And it gives a ton of stats. So I just slapped this one on, and then I slapped this one on as well because it does. It also gives a lot of stats. So I was basically going off of CC at that point. But yeah, you just take the HP recovery set and then just have highest CC other cards. Put that on your team, and then just call it a day. And that should be the way to go. Alright, so that was going over the team. Now we're going to pull up the actual video, and I'm going to run you guys through all 3 of my runs on floor 1, 2, and 3, and then kind of explain to you guys how I'm able to, you know, beat the bird with this team, because I've had a lot of people asking me, amazing, how do you beat the bird with the Meliodas team? How do you go about it? And I'm going to be explaining it in this video. So let's cut to where we're like actually going over the clip here, and yeah, we'll see you guys there. Alright, so we're on to floor 1. We loaded in, right? So this is just me doing my run. My CC with this team, as I said before, is lower because when I recorded this, my Meliodas was 4 out of 6. He was not 6 out of 6 as he is now. So you guys notice the CC difference is about like 800, right? But it's not anything too crazy, right? This is just gonna be the run on the bird here, and this is the first floor. So phase 1 of the first floor, you mainly just waste your cards, try and build up your damage reduction. So we double to single target there with Matrona and Brunhild there, and we're actually able to get the damage reduction stack, and also buff up Meliodas too, because we're also, you know, trying to stack up Meliodas enough so that when we go to the final phase, if we have some amplifiers, we're actually able to dish out damage. So there we go. We actually had a pretty good hand there considering what we got, right? We got 2 single targets. We have a Brunhilder single target. We have a single target with Matrona, and we also have Meliodas cards, like a ton of them galore. So we would just rank up Meliodas at that point, right? Like, which is the viable way. Yeah, and then also another thing too, when we get to phase 3 of floor 1, I'll explain to you guys like the buff system and like how that works, because a lot of people are also confused about that, and I think that's definitely something I should mention if we're gonna be going over this. We're going to be going over the bird, right? That's definitely something to mention. So yeah, so 90k there on the rank 1, pretty good. I just decided to rank up Meliodas just to get a bunch of cards with him, and it worked out because I top decked a bunch of Power Strike cards with Brunhilder there, which is really good, right? Yeah, so we take a bunch of single targets there with Matrona, and then we take the AoE. But yeah, and then moving into this turn right here, I'm deciding like what I do. So I just go with double single target with Meliodas and Brunhilder. I hope it doesn't kill, right? I'm thinking it doesn't kill, and it doesn't, which is good. The Power Strike rank 1. So I was actually able to get 2. We got another damage reduction stack there with Meliodas, if you guys notice. Because if you guys don't know exactly how Meliodas works, every time you do 2 single targets, you actually get a damage reduction stack, and you can get up to 5 stacks of the damage reduction. So ideally, every turn you want to use 2 single target cards. You know, that's going to be like one of the most important things, I'd say. But, you know, it's fine if you don't get them off. But it's definitely more important to get the damage reduction than, you know, really dishing out damage. But like while you're doing it, you will dish out damage. So let's pause the video here, And as you guys can see, the buff that I got is the crit damage increase increases the hero's crit damage by 30% for each orb removed from the hero's ultimate move gauge. So this one, you guys might be wondering, amazing, is this a good buff? Is this like, you know, what you want to see? I'm gonna put up on the screen here my graphic here that shows all the buffs and passives that you actually want to run. If you guys need like if you guys need like this graphic and you want to see it like you know, whenever you're doing your runs, link in the description. I'll put my Twitter post where I actually made the post with the graphic. But basically this buff is an SSR buff from my graphic. That is when I have an SSR like little like logo on the buff, that means it's really good. If you have the SR one, that means it's doable, and then if you have the poop emoji, that means it's really bad. So with this buff, the reason this one is really good is because it increases the hero's crit damage by 30% when removing the hero's ultimate move gauge. Right, you have to remove the ultimate move gauge of the bird for him to get a crit damage increase, and if he's not critting you, which he can't, right, as long as he doesn't have the you know, the death pierce passive, which he can't get this and the other one, but if you guys know what I mean, like he's not going to be able to crit you often, and the only way he'll actually get his crit damage increase is if you use a go through ultimate. So just don't use go through ultimate, right? When you get that one, just don't use go through ultimate. If you get the other one, then that one's fine. You're more like accessible with the eye licking one. I forgot exactly what that one's called. I think it's like armor destruction or whatever. But if you get that one's really good too. But anyway, continuing with the video, because that's a really good buff right there. So we decide to just, you know, waste cards here and just get the kill. At that point, like, you know, I'm deciding to kind of move my cards there with Brunhild, because I don't wanna waste her power strikes now. We want to save them for the final phase where we need to hit the damage cap and dish out enough damage, right? Because if you guys don't know, on phase 4 of stage 1, the bird is gonna have a lot of damage reduction. His like basically his defense goes like super crazy. The only way you can damage him is with Meliodas rank 3 amplifies and power strikes with Brunhilder, right? If you are running this team. So let's see what we do here. I think I go for double single target regardless, just to get a stack. Oh no, we're already at max stacks actually. I don't know what I go for. I think I just go for the all, and then we just move cards. Yeah, exactly, because I know that's gonna kill. If Meliodas is dishing out like 150k per hit, which is damage cap on this phase. Yeah, so we do that. And then we move into the final phase of the bird here. This is where we're gonna need to dish out a ton of damage. So I just start dropping all my power strike cards. You know, we just gotta go for the damage at that point. There's nothing that we can really do. We could have stalled for like a few turns, but we need to dish out damage now, because if you guys don't know, the bird will apply corrosion if you can't do damage on a turn. So you don't want him to, you know, apply the corrosion and then you die the following turn. You just have to dish out as much damage as you can. So we already did, like, you know, that's what, like 60% of his HP, more than that, probably like 65-70% of his HP, and we top decked a rank up, double rank up, which is super good for this run right here, because what that means is that I'm able to actually drop double power strike card, and then we just finish off the fight there. So phase 1 or stage 1 actually went pretty well on this run for me, because I just got a double rank up there and I could just finish him off with double power strike, right? It was really nice. It was really nice with that final last 2 cards there with top deck. But yeah, definitely worked out in my favor, because, you know, Holy Relic Gother is also increasing my stats, so I'm able to hit damage cap twice. And we actually do finish off the bird there with stage 1. And we'll actually discuss what we do in stage 2 now. So that's the stage 1 run, and this is the rewards I get right at the end here. I don't think any of my rewards are really good, because I was doing this like, okay, yeah, we did get 1 drop there, which is pretty nice. But yeah, moving into stage 2. Let me skip in the clip a little bit. Alright, so we're loading into the stage 2 here. This is the run where I actually won. I had a few attempts where they were just dead runs. But you guys will understand why they were dead runs when I explain it in the video. But if we go, so this is phase 1 of stage 2. As you guys can see, the reason it's different is because you see the 2 little skulls with the little like, you know, shape around the skulls. That means that you have 2 buffs that you're gonna be getting on this stage, right? So moving into stage 2, I just do the same turn 1. You know, we drop double single target, we drop the dissolve with Gother, and then we drop the taunt with Matrona, so we're able to actually tank. So there we go. You take a good amount of damage there, but because of the damage reduction and because of the bird AoEing on the final hit there, I think I was fine. Even if he did like a rank 2, I think I would have tanked that too. But yeah, so we start going for more damage reduction, right? And I'm deciding like what I'm going to be doing, and so we just decide to waste that, and then we waste the pierce card as well. So we do get damage reduction stack because we do double single target there. And then wasting the Pierce card and the Dissolve right there just to clear my hand a little bit. Because we do want to start stacking up on the other cards. And the thing is too with Meliodas, like his Pierce card still does a ton of damage. So it's a nice card to just kind of drop and get out of the way just to deal a bunch of damage. So it's a pretty good idea, right? Yeah, and then the bird buffs up here. And then he's going to do a decent amount of damage. But because he did a rank 1 there, we actually tanked that. If he did double rank 2, I don't think I would have tanked that. But we did get pretty lucky. So we follow up with a rank up onto Brunhilde. And I'm deciding, like, what am I going to do here if I want to get another damage reduction stack. So I'm thinking, like, I just go for a rank 1. And unfortunately, I think with this rank 1 I killed. If I'm not mistaken. I think with this rank 1 I killed. Yeah, I did kill. So you know, I was thinking maybe Brunhilde might not kill there. We could have got another damage reduction stack, but unfortunately she just does too much damage. And then right there, as you guys can see, we'll pause the video again. But we'll wait till it shows that I pull up the buff again. Because I think I pull up the buff again right there. So attack and defense decrease. This is another SSR buff that I put on my graphic. So I'll show you guys the graphic again. It decreases attack and defense by 5% for 5 turns at the start of every turn. And the reason this is not a bad passive at all is because the attack and defense decrease is not really as bad as, like, you know, the other two, right? Like I think there's one that is like really bad on this turn. And that one is the HP down one, because it basically, what happens with that one is it just cuts your HP in half. And that one just really it just sucks, right? Especially when moving into stage 3. So the attack and defense one is really good because you're able to, you know, it isn't really anything you have to worry about. It's not like, you know, the bird doesn't get anything crazy. It's just you lower your stats every turn. But because Meliodas and Brunhilde are just so strong, they don't really need all the attack and defense anyway. They just dish out a ton of damage anyway. So yeah, so moving in to phase 2 of stage 2. This turn you actually need to have a taunt with Matrona. If you do not have a taunt with Matrona, just reset the run. And the reason for that is because if you don't have a taunt with Matrona, the bird will just instantly one-shot you on phase 2 stage 2, right? You don't want to have you don't want to go into this phase unless you're for sure that you can kill in 4 cards. If you can kill in 4 cards and you don't have a taunt, then by all means. But if you know you're not killing, you definitely need a taunt, and you'll have to reset if you don't get one. So you'll see here where it says the bird misses when he actually attacks. So when he does this AoE right here, so this one right here, he's gonna go bah, 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 and he's gonna miss all the hits. The reason he missed that is because I had a taunt with Matrona. So you always have to have a taunt with Matrona there if you're gonna want to you know, be able to dodge this turn basically. Because without it, you're kind of screwed. But yeah, so I just dropped double single target again. I know that my cards are going to kill, so I know Gother doesn't even need to really ult. But the ult with Gother's fine. You know, increasing his crit damage is fine because he doesn't crit me anyway, right? Because you guys don't know, we did get that crit damage buff. But I don't know if killing him with the ult actually applies the passive or not. But, you know, I didn't really notice anyway because I never got crit. But yeah, it was fine. So yeah, moving into phase 3. Phase 3 is very important as well. So phase 3, you want to be able to deal exactly about like 40%, 30% damage on his health, because what happens is once he gets the recovery rate buff past 40% HP, he's just gonna full heal on you, and it's basically at that point a dead run because he's gonna start attack stealing you. So what I decided to do is I do one Meliodas card, and as you guys can see, I'll pause the video here actually. If you can see the buffs on the bird, you'll see that he has 2 buffs. He has the damage reduction one. I think that's like resistance up and then defense up. So if he has those buffs up, then you're good. That is exactly what you want. You don't want him to get past that like HP threshold, because if you get him past that HP threshold, which you'll see when I actually attack, like on the following turn, I'll show you when I attack. That he's going to be getting the recovery rate buff. And if he gets the recovery rate buff and you finish your turn and he still has that buff, he's just going to full heal on you. That's why on turn 1 of phase 3, what you want to do is just do one card that does a good amount of damage, like damage cap. Let's say if you do have a Meliodas rank 1, it'll do about like, you know, like 25% HP. That's really good. And then you can follow up the following turn with just a ton of single target damage and just kill him, right? So what I do is I go for Brunhilde single target, and then we drop the Meliodas thing, and then I, just to be safe, you know, just to be safe, that I dropped the rank 3 power strike. But yeah, so I'll pause the video right here, and you guys can see the buffs change to regeneration rate increase, right, and recovery rate. So that buff that he gets is actually going to full heal him. And if I finish this turn where he had this amount of health, then, you know, I would have been screwed. But he actually didn't finish that turn with that much health. I just killed him off. So that's exactly what you want to do. You want to kill him off that turn. Once you've done that little bit of damage at the beginning, you just finish him off. And once he's dead, he can't full heal on you, right? So now moving into the final phase of stage 2, any buff you get on this stage is fine, right? I think this one is an SSR buff on my my thing as well, but I just don't like this one. The one where he gets like a buff every turn, every time you damage him, right? I don't really like that one, but it's fine. It's fine. It still works. It just is annoying every time he gets that like little blue buff on him, right? It just looks kind of cringe, but it's still a really good buff. If you get this one, don't call it a reset. Just keep going. But yeah, so at that point we're just dropping cards. You know, there's no way you really lose once you beat phase 3 of this stage and you have a good buff from phase 2, then you're fine. There's actually just no way you lose. Like if you just start spamming your cards at that point, unless you get like super bad RNG and it's only like Matrona cards, you'll probably lose. But at that point in the fight, you'll have so much damage reduction with Matrona and Meliodas. Like you're fine, bro. Like at that point, just dish out a bunch of damage real quick and just kill him off. Right, so that's what I go for. So I go for the full heal here. I'm deciding, you know, with Brunhilde Ultimate, I can go for an easy heal and then also dish out a ton of damage on Meliodas. So we go for that. It's going to do 153k, basically full healing my team. And we get the kill with Meliodas there, doing damage cap with a rank 2 amplifier there. So we finish off stage 2 of the bird. In my opinion, I think stage 2 of the bird is probably easier than, you know, than stage 1. I think, in my opinion, because the way stage 2 works is you're not like, you know, capped on a damage cap for power strike. You don't need power strike. You can just dish out any damage you want. So moving into stage 3 of the bird, you know, so if you guys don't know as well, your buffs will carry over from the first and second. So moving into stage 3, you're gonna have a lot of debuffs on you, but it's fine because you just have to get really lucky with your buffs and debuffs that you get. So let me just make sure that we are on the correct bird run here. Alright, so this was the run here on the bird on stage 3 where I actually beat it. I had a few dead runs, so I won't put that in the video, but here's the run where I actually beat it, right? Where we go through and we win. So yeah, stage 3 of the bird. First thing to note is that the bird is actually gonna do a ton of damage to you. Okay, so just don't really you know, focus. I would say focus mainly on damage reduction. That's the main thing you want to do. And with this phase, the way the bird works is that he's actually going to apply blockade on you. If you guys don't know what blockade is, it means you can't use rank 2s or rank 3s. So when he applies blockade, at that point, you just want to spam all your rank 1s. Like, just spam all your rank 1s. You don't need to start ranking up anybody. You don't need to do any of that. The way I saw how it worked for me was I just started spamming Meliodas cards, and I was dealing damage cap with Meliodas on rank 1 amplifies anyway. So if, you know, at that point, it really doesn't matter that you can't use anything higher than rank 2s. So I just double Matrona single target, if I'm not mistaken. I think I do. Right, let's see. Yeah, double Matrona single target makes the most sense. That's what I thought I did. And then I just go for the amplify with Meliodas because we're already at 5 buffs there, and we drop the Pierce card just in case we top deck another amplify following that, right? But yeah, we get the damage reduction stack, and then as you can see, Meliodas is already doing 139k on rank 1s, right? And then the Pierce card following up is doing 100k. So already with just rank 1s, regardless of blockade, because you don't really care about blockade anyway, right? It's not doing a ton of damage. But yeah, that card right there that the bird does is Ruin. So Ruin AoE is a lot of damage, man. And we do actually tank that with like a sliver of health. And the reason we actually tanked that is because he had a rank 2 and a rank 1, and we did tank the rank 1 fairly well there. It was definitely because of the damage reduction there that Matrona was giving for the team. So what we do there is we remove the buffs, we go for the double Meliodas amplify, and we just try and get out of this turn just to finish out the phase here, right? We don't want to stay long in phase 1. We kind of just want to get out, so we do double single target with Meliodas. And I don't know if this actually kills, actually. Let me see. Okay, yeah, it barely kills, which is good. Double Meliodas single target there worked out. So yeah, so this part of the bird right here is where we get the damage reflect. So I'm gonna pause the video on the damage reflect there. So let's go back and Let me pause the video right on the damage reflect. So damage reflect is a really good buff if you have Matrona on your team, and the reason I say this is because applying an effect which reflects 25% of the hero's damage taken at the start of the battle is a really good thing, because all you need is one Matrona single target and you can shut down that passive completely, and you don't have to worry about any other gimmicks with the fight, because the moment you'll start the fight you'll have the reflect, but he doesn't heal off the reflect damage anyway. So that's another thing to know. It's not like any final boss where, like, you know, when you damage the boss and then they have reflect, they just start healing up with it. It's not like a Goddess Elizabeth reflect, right? It's nothing like that. So if you can just remove the reflect, it's fine. And so what I do this turn, because I don't have a Matrona removal, I just waste my cards and try not to deal a ton of damage, because I don't want to kill myself with the single targets here. So that's why I ulted with Matrona first, so that my detonate card with Brunhilde wouldn't do a ton of damage. We're only doing like 33k, so we don't take a lot reflect. But yeah, we get lucky and we do top deck a Matrona there. If you don't top deck Matrona, you can kind of push a Meliodas ult. That also works, because, you know, that does remove buffs as well. But yeah, and then I had to make sure I got a taunt that turn too. So we got pretty lucky getting the taunt and the remove buff. So we just first things first, we always remove buff, because we don't want him to have the damage reduction and even the reflex stacks. So at that point I was thinking, like, what do I do? Do I go for a double single target here? You know, I was kind of thinking of my options, what I should go for. But yeah, so I decided to just drop Brunhilde ultimate and go for a follow-up single target, just so I get another damage reduction stack, because I'm at 4 right now, so that we get 5. So I think now I'm at 5 damage reduction stacks, if I'm not mistaken. So 1, 2, 3, yeah, so we're at 5 damage reduction stacks now, which is really good. And we still have Meliodas ult. We still have a ton of single targets here, so we're doing really good on the bird right now. I think this turn, if I'm not mistaken, I do just waste the ultimate. But let's see. Let us see. Yeah, so this turn I think I do double single target. Well, actually, it doesn't even matter now because we have max damage reduction stack. So yeah, so I drop ultimate and then we follow up with the Brunhilde double detonate. And then we also just waste Meliodas Pierce card there. And then we have a bunch of really good cards moving into the final phase. So yeah, and then another thing to know about phase 2 of stage 3, the bird, is that right at the end there, if you guys didn't notice, I'll pause the video and go back a little bit actually. Right at the end there, when my Brunhilde was attacking, the boss actually had an apply debuff, which that debuff right there is dissolve. If you do not kill when he has that debuff, right? If you do not kill him when you attack and you just deal damage, he's going to apply dissolve on you. Like when Gother applies dissolve in PvP, think of it like that, and he's just going to take your gauge. So that's something you want to just get out of that phase instantly, just kill right at the end there. So, you know, doing my ultimate with Meliodas, and then he got the buff was really good, because then I didn't lose my ult. But yeah, and then we top decked a rank up with her, which was really good, and we did top deck a Matrona removal buff as well, which actually just worked out in my favor for the way it works. But moving into phase 3 of stage 3 of the bird, this is one of the most important phases of the entire fight. You want to kill this phase as fast as possible, and I repeat, as fast as possible, because the longer you stay in this stage, the more debuffs you will get on your team. As you guys will see on this turn, the bird is actually going to give me a stance disabled debuff, and basically how this works is that every turn you don't kill the bird on phase 3, stage 3 of the bird, he's actually going to apply a gray debuff on your team that lasts the rest of the fight. There's no way you're cleansing it. There's nothing like that is happening. So you have to kill as fast as possible. First one right here, as you can see, is the stance disable. I think if you like hold down on the bird, like when you're in the actual fight, you'll see, which I didn't actually do myself. But I think how it goes, it's stance disable turn 1. Turn 2 is debuff disable, and then by turn 3, if you have not killed by turn 3, at that point it's a reset because he disables your buffs and you can't Matrona taunt and you can't rank up. So you would have to get super lucky with card merges if you get to turn 3, and then you kill the bird that turn, right? You just have to get super lucky. But yeah, at that point, you know, I'll just say just reset and go for a new run. But you know, it honestly depends on where you were in the fight there. So right here, so I go for the Matrona buff removal just to remove the damage reduction stacks there, which is really good. And then we go for the single target, double single target, Meliodas and Brunhilde single target, which is basically like, you know, 300k on a rank 2 with Meliodas. He's just so strong now that he's just dishing out a ton of damage. And we finished off that phase in about 2 turns, but we didn't finish the turn with the turn. Okay, so this is also a very important turn right here because we got the best buff possible on this stage, the SSR buff on the final stage of the bird. The other two are reliant on you being able to dish out a ton of damage around the end, because one of them is where he revives and then just like you know, gets like 50% HP, and then the other one is where he has like, you know, when he's less than 25% HP and you don't kill him, he'll like fully heal and get stats. So that one is probably the worst. This one is definitely the best, the weapon destruction one, because when the hero inflicts damage single target, applies an effect on the target which decreases attack related stats, which that one is really good because he's only going to be targeting your Matrona anyway, right? So think about it like that. So continuing with the video here, this is where I was like, okay, we basically secured a W here. The only problem is we did not start the turn with a buff removal. So my idea was, okay, let me push Meliodas ultimate, and then the following turn I'll actually deal the ultimate to remove the buffs. So, you know, I'm deciding, okay, then that's definitely the play. So we double single target there, get some stacks on Meliodas. Try not to deal a ton of damage with Brunhilde so we don't kill ourselves from Reflect. But yeah, we dished out 100k there, drop the taunt, and then yeah, we move into like, you know, the second turn. So we did not top deck a Matrona buff removal, and we take a lot of damage there, as you can see. Like, that's a lot, right? Definitely a lot of damage there. And then Matrona dies. So because of that AoE right there, Matrona dies. And so my thought process here is like, oh my gosh, so the bird, we're going to have to be able to dish out a ton of damage. So I almost dropped my ultimate and my amplifier thinking I could just finish him off now. But, you know, knowing that the bird actually has a buff, so I'll pause the video. The bird is actually going to be using the buff next turn, which has evade. So my thought process was, I don't have Matrona any longer. I need to keep Meliodas ultimate to remove the evade buff, so I'm actually able to kill then. So I decided to reset my hand and actually go for just a bunch of single target damage with my Meliodas and Brunhilde. So you guys will see here, I dropped the Meliodas Amplify. Right, we go for the Meliodas Amplify, single target with Brunhilde, and then we drop the ultimate at the end. Knowing that he has Reflect, I went for the ultimate at the end, just so I kind of heal up as much HP as possible, right? Because I'm doing a lot of damage killing myself from Reflect. So we drop the ultimate, we dish out a ton of damage, and we do fully heal up with Meliodas there and Brunhilde. And then this turn we actually do finish off the bird here because we're able to drop the ultimate and follow up with another Meliodas Amplify, and we do actually win the fight there. So that one was pretty close. You know, my Matrona dying definitely was a setback, I'd say, but overall, like that was definitely a good run. Because you know, we were able to finish off the fight. If you can just clear stage 3, right, like you win. You know, you definitely just win at that point. But yeah, like that's my bird run with this team, and that's basically like the strategy that I like to go with when trying to clear floors 1, 2, and 3 with this team on the bird. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe as always. If you guys want to see more videos like this, definitely let me know in the comment section below, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Peace out and have a great rest of your day.